I'm laying on my stomach in bed, feet kicking in the air behind me like I'm a teenager on the phone with my boyfriend, as a stranger sings to me. It's around 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's only singing to me because I asked him to. I asked him to in a Craigslist ad I had posted a few hours earlier. I posted this casual encounters ad with Chris, who I'd only met 8 hours before that. The ad read, "Hot straight couple in Silver Lake, MW4M, man, woman for man. Seek clean M for M action while W watches. Must be local, 23 to 38. Attractive. Must do a Gene Wilder impersonation." The ad was accompanied with crude cell phone pictures with our faces obscured and just the right angles so we looked way more attractive. And I had never done anything like this before, I swear. Chris found me earlier that day at the Silver Lake Lounge in Los Angeles. I had driven up in the morning for a close friend's birthday party. It was an all-day sort of affair with dozens of bands and comedy acts performing in the afternoon until late at night. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship, so single me was very ready for LA party time. I was on vodka soda number 3 while band number 4 was playing when Chris walked in. He strolled in with a motorcycle helmet under his arm and a camera around his neck. Chris was short and lean, head full of gray hair, jeans, t-shirt, and boots, but the kind that costs money, a quality, not quantity, hip dirtbag outfit. He stalked the perimeter of the room, making sure to smile at everyone, a natural flirt. It felt like ages before he made his way to my table. For some reason, I so badly wanted his attention. His slow pace felt deliberate. He nudged my side, making that first electric contact, and introduced himself. I told him my name and asked to borrow his camera and started taking pictures blindly of the underside of the bar table, determined to show off. "What are you doing?" I showed him the psychedelic images on his camera screen. "Look at all that gum under there." "We just created art together, our first collaboration," he smiled. I nodded over to his helmet and asked about his bike. "Oh, I ride a Triumph." "Like Steve McQueen?" I squealed. We walked out of the dark bar, squinting in the bright afternoon light. Lucky for Chris, Triumphs are just pure sex on wheels. I sheepishly admitted I had never ridden one before. "Let's get out of here, go for a little ride. I don't think the birthday boy will miss us." He gently placed his spare helmet over my head and carefully buckled the strap, making sure not to pinch my chin. Lesson 1, you need to lean into the turns with me. Our first stop was a liquor store. Chris ran inside and came out with a bottle of whiskey. He slid it between my legs. Lesson 2, don't drop the booze. It made me squeeze him harder, trying to sandwich the fifth of makers between our bodies as we zipped back to his place. His house was across the street from the Silver Lake Dog Park. It looked like a hobbit lived there. It was 2-story, 1-bedroom, thatched roof-type house. The first floor layout was a small kitchen and living room. Fetish books on bondage and shibari, an intricate Japanese rope kind of bondage, laced his bookshelf. A narrow set of winding stairs led upstairs to the bedroom, office, and bathroom. Framed along the walls were stark black and white nudes of a greased-up woman. "Who is that?" "Oh, I took those. That's my ex." This was a pervert's house. A charming pervert's house. Over tumblers of whiskey, he asked me to create my own playlist on his computer, complimenting my taste in music. Then the conversation quickly turned to professions. He pulled up a website he was designing where there were tiny thumbnails of generic naked flesh, webcam girls. He explained this was just a template, that once up and running, these girls would be making real money, that I could make real money. Yeah, I'm too old to be a porn girl. "No, you can be a recruiter. Get these girls all set up. I'd pay you 10% of what they'd make. It's a perfect side gig. You'd be great at it. You're so warm and likable." Could I do this? Become a virtual pimp? You just go to the college bars, you start talking to them. It's easy. These girls will do anything, and they make thousands. I was becoming judgy. "Are you really into that stuff?" Not only is it kind of boring, these girls are barely 18. That's kind of hot, but it's just a living. Not really my thing, but I guess you can say everything is my thing. My friends call me Bird, as in Dirty Bird. Now, I could appreciate any sort of mutual, grown-up adult kink, but I couldn't believe what I heard next. But you know what I think is so hot? What really gets me off? Sucking cock. I love sucking a man's cock. Sucking cock is great, I agreed, surprised at the conversation turn and still trying to act cool. I mean, I'm an open-minded kind of gal. I'm the kind of gal that rides motorcycles through the streets of LA with a complete stranger. I drink my whiskey straight. I've had my share of adventurous sex, one-night stands, chips, dips, chains, whips. I was the kind of gal that liked to check things off a list, make sure I was or wasn't interested. I wasn't expecting this kind of tryst, but I wasn't opposed to it either. How does it work, I asked. It's pretty easy. It's so simple. You just place an ad. I mean, this is LA. You can get anything you want at any time. Okay, I paused, thinking about the logistics of all this. If we do this, I'm not taking off my pants. I'm all for one-night stands, but I consider myself a second base kind of girl in threesomes. Yeah, you won't need to take off your pants. And I don't want him to know my name. And I don't want to know his name. Can we call him Desmond? Chris smiled. Sounds great. And we have to weed out the idiots. We need like a like-minded weirdo, someone we would want to hang out with outside of Craigslist. Not that we're going to hang out with them outside of Craigslist, but I don't want to watch you suck an idiot's dick. How do you propose we weed them out? They have to do a mean Gene Wilder impression. If they're too young and dumb, they won't know who Gene is. Only a true weirdo will get the reference. It's the perfect test. I was a genius. Chris started typing and had obviously done this before. He knew the right code words and abbreviations for the advertisement, knew just the right picture to take of himself, thumb pulling down the front of his jeans, biting the bottom of his shirt to expose his flat stomach. My pics were easier, just tits squeezed together, hair teased in my face. Before I knew it, the email verification came in and we were live. I sat back, sipping on bourbon, convinced nothing would happen. But then the computer started chiming with responses. Not only responses, but pictures. Get over here and help me pick one out. Chris was gleeful. Oh my God, there's so many. Some were too young, some were too old, some were too ugly. Most were too stupid. We'd open up an email to see the most gorgeous young man with a perfect body, but he'd misspelled there. He'd misspell there and my boner would disappear. These emails and pictures were very telling. Chris perked. This one seems promising. Hey guys, you're both so sexy. I'm located in Eagle Rock. My girlfriend's out of town. Are you guys still looking for a third? There was a tall man in the picture, maybe late 30s, early 40s, without his shirt, thin. He had messy gray hair and stylish glasses. I'd wondered how many ads he had responded to. I wondered if he really had a girlfriend. This is our Desmond, Chris assured me, typing back a response with his phone number. His cell rang immediately. Hello? Uh-huh. Yep, you're pretty close. Hold on. Chris handed me the phone. I flopped on my stomach onto his bed and cradled the phone in my ear. And with that, I was serenaded with the sweetest song my whiskey-soaked adventure sex brain had ever heard. Round and home again. That's the sailor's way. Faster, faster. There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going. There's no knowing where we're rowing or which way the river's flowing. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a-blowing? Not a speck of light is showing, so the danger must be growing. Are the fires of hell a-glowing? Is the grisly reaper mowing? Yes! The danger must be growing, for the rowers keep on rowing, and they're certainly not showing any signs that they're slowing. I grinned stupidly and handed the phone back to Chris. Give him your address. It was 3 a.m. when Desmond showed up. I had fallen asleep on the couch downstairs when our third walked in the room. I could tell he was something special. He looked nerdy. He looked like one of us. We rushed to greet him, offering him whiskey and beer and cigarettes and pot. Eager little degenerates. He took a puff from the small glass pipe. Great place you've got here. I always wanted to see the inside of it. I pass it every day. Ah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's great. I've been here 5 years. Great location. They both exchanged small talk. Apparently, our Desmond was a screenwriter. His girlfriend was really his fiancée. They had moved to LA from New York a few years ago. Chris could see my eyes closing, heavy with sleep. Let's check out the view from upstairs. Just like a camp counselor, leading the campers to bed. I'm not taking my pants off, I yawned. Following up the narrow staircase, both Desmond and Chris looked back. That's fine with us. The bed was smaller than I remember. Desmond lay in the middle, sandwiched between Chris and I. They both started kissing me very gently, and then each other, harder, faster. This was exciting, like threesome with a stranger from Craigslist exciting. But where did I come in? I felt like they were playing double dutch and I couldn't quite time the ropes right. Or like when you're in a shower with another person and they hog all the hot water, so you just stand in the stall shivering and shampoo's running in your eyes. Or maybe being invited to a party and not knowing anyone, so you just sit in the corner and pet the dog. It was awkward. I was awkward. It was like taking a photo. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I was the appendix in the body of a threesome. Fruitless, without purpose. I pulled a pillow under my head. I might as well be comfortable. Chris grabbed my arm to get my attention and made eye contact as he slowly unbuttoned Desmond's pants. There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going. Desmond's hard cock popped out of his boxers. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a-blowing? Chris moaned and inched his way down, slowly sucking the whole time, looking at me. Yes. I laid on my side, head propped up in my hand, elbow bent, perched on the very edge of the bed, fully dressed. That's the sailor's way. Faster, faster. Desmond's back arched as he let out a satisfying moan. Chris broke my gaze as he sat up and swallowed. I could tell by the color peeking through the window dawn was here, and I slowly tucked myself under the covers. In the background, I could hear Chris and Desmond smoking a bowl. She's really great. She's like really hot. Desmond was referring to me. She looks like an actress, you know, from that show. How long have you two been together? Not too long. I know, man, she really is the best, Chris responded as he blew out smoke. I grinned at their post-bliss compliments on my behalf, although I wasn't a very active participant. My back turned to them both as I lay snuggled in bed. Their small talk turned to big talk, both musing about philosophy as I drifted off to sleep. I woke up around noon. Chris Chipper came in with a cup of coffee and my cell phone, which he had charged after I went to bed. Thought you might want to check your social. It's what I like to do first thing. And when you're ready, let's get brunch. I'm starving. Have you ever been to Langer's Deli before? They give you a plate of pickles and serve a mean pastrami. No, it'll be my first time. Thank you.
That was Suzanne Høyem.